What's up, boys and girls? We watched Phantom Thread, and we thought it was amazing.
A solid damn movie.
So Phantom Thread is set in the 1950s, and Daniel Day-Lewis plays a man named Reynolds Woodcock. He is a meticulous, demanding dressmaker, renowned dressmaker. But then one day, a woman named Alma comes in and kind of, messes up his life a little bit, and kind of changes the way he does things. Now, is it for the better?
Who knows?
We do, because we watched the movie. But Almost played by Vicky Krieps, and she does an amazing job playing his lover and his muse and his companion.
So Phantom Thread is a great claustrophobic drama. Most of it takes place inside of a home, and you really get to see the ins and outs of this household. As Reynolds Woodcock as his renowned dressmaker, you feel like a fly on the wall a lot of the time, witnessing these intimate moments between characters and how the operation behind the scenes go and how he takes everything so seriously.
The way he does his hair, the way he just fixes his socks, everything is very perfect, and everything is thought up to the T. And then you have Alma who comes in, and she, like I said before, she messes it up. She kind of shakes and rocks the boat a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's great to see as this man is starting to deteriorate, to start to come out of himself and come out of the seams, and how this woman has such an effect on this.
And I love it because in this film, Daniel Day-Lewis plays, a man who supposedly has so much control over his personal life. He's so demanding, he's so intricate with every little detail, yet somebody can come in just like that and just unravel it all and kind of like have it breaking down. And it just goes to show you that, Paul Thomas Anderson and the screenwriters here are phenomenal at doing that, and Daniel Day-Lewis is great at providing that as an actor. They really give you something to stand on, and then they just kind of like break it down layer by layer, and that's just, movie greatness.
Now, Daniel Day-Lewis claims this is his final movie. I don't believe him, but whatever.
He doesn't believe himself.
He doesn't believe himself. He's a great actor, but that was the least believable thing he's ever said on a movie or in TV.
And like we said about, after we saw this film, if he goes out on this, kudos, you had a great career, but it doesn't seem like the last movie that he would want to be remembered for. It was a great film, and he does amazing, but in comparison to a lot of the other roles that he took on, it's a step down as far as intensity. Even though it was an intense role, he doesn't have that wide of a range as some of his other films.
Not to dog his performance in this, he was still nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor in this movie. We don't know who has won yet, but he does an incredible job in this, and I think he portrays this guy who's trying to be so perfect at all times. He has his hair perfect, he has his clothing perfect, and he's so tightly wound through the whole thing that you can see that some little thing coming in could just burst him at his seams, and he does such a great job at it. Like, there are times when he doesn't have to say much. Sometimes his hair is just slightly imperfect, and you can tell that he's disheveled. There's something wrong with him, and just the way he looks.
Yeah.
There's a scene where, remember, she's leaving the room to go dance?
Yeah.
She's going to go dance, and he didn't want her to go dance.
Yeah, he just like...
He doesn't say much. He just says, I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna work, but there are certain looks that he gives.
Yep.
He gives certain looks when she leaves the room.
And he's like looking out like he's like a dog almost. He just kind of like looks out and he's like, "Where'd you go? Where are you? Where are you?" And it's uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable. It's so subtle, and it's all because of his acting. And he really just drives the entire movie. He makes this film, as we described it before, this suffocating film. He's the reason why this house just seems like a terror to be in.
Now, there's a few scenes in this film where, Paul Thomas Anderson and the actor and actress, they depict these arguments that Reynolds Woodcock and Alma have in their home, and these are like the bright spots of the movie. This is movie acting like heaven for people who enjoy watching these dynamics on screen there.
I don't like the fabric.
Maybe one day you'll change your taste.
Maybe I like my own taste.
Just enough to get you into trouble.
Perhaps I'm looking for trouble.
Stop.
And I also wonder how much of it was ad-libbed or improv, because there are parts where, one person starts to say something to add to their point, and somebody will, interrupt, and, they'll go back and forth, and it's just this agonizing watch of two people just like I don't know if the viewer has been in a situation like this. I've been in arguments with a loved one, and it is like stomach churning. It just doesn't feel good, and you as an audience member get that when you're watching it. You get tightly wound just like Reynolds Woodcock's, and then also on top of that, you feel like just fed up like Alma. So you're dealing with this maelstrom of emotions. and you just love it the entire time because the movie it's guiding you along in a way that doesn't make you feel dumbed down or stupid. You are in this fully invested emotionally, and it's almost like a moral thriller in a way. You get a lot of things where you're just like on the edge of your seat wondering how they're going to react. Not what's going to happen in the story, but how the reactions are going to push the story forward. I think that's a great thing to do through subtlety and, you know, demanding performances.
You're a fly on the wall for all these arguments. You're kind of like a third wheel when a couple that you're friends with is arguing. And like,
I've been in that situation.
usually when that happens, you want them to stop arguing and stuff because it's so uncomfortable for you. And in this movie, there are times where you want them to stop arguing because it feels so uncomfortable.
It is, yeah.
But at the same time, you realize that these are the golden parts of this movie. And
Best parts of the film, man.
The acting is so great that you just want to keep watching, even though it makes you feel uncomfortable. It's a weird feeling to be uncomfortable, but then enjoy it at the same time. As we said before, this movie was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and he's done another movie with Daniel Day-Lewis called There Will Be Blood. Now that movie, we love that movie.
That movie is damn ridiculous in the best way possible.
9.5 out of 10 is what we give it.
That's easy.
Easy. Now we don't give this film as high of a score.
No.
But why?
Why? Well, so we give this one, about an 8.5.
8.5.
Now, the reason for that is because I read somewhere before I saw the film, and I definitely agree with this sentiment after watching the film, is that it's his most outwardly accessible film. It's a little more explained than a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson's other films, which I think hurts it, but not in like a horrible way. It's just that I feel like Paul Thomas Anderson has a brand, and that brand is so unique. Like if you've seen The Master with Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman, you know, like we said before, There Will Be Blood. There's a lot of layers to that film, and there's not one inciting incident. This one has an inciting incident. The woman comes in, she disrupts Randall Woodcock's life, Daniel Day-Lewis character, and you know, after that, it's just everything kind of unfolds and unravels, and you start to see the hidden depths there. With There Will Be Blood, you see hidden depths, but you don't get direct answers. There's a lot of things that are open-ended and left to your interpretation. I mean, the ending of the film on its own is something that's kind of, you know, it's scary, but it's also very thought-provoking and in tone with the rest of the film. You know, you piece together a lot of the things with There Will Be Blood, whereas this one kind of gives them to you, kind of explains it. So that's the reason why Phantom Thread for us gets an 8.5 instead of a 9.5 like There Will Be Blood.
Well, that was our review for Phantom Thread. Have you seen it? If you have any comments, please comment below. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up. And please subscribe to us. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back next time for another video review. See you guys.
Reynolds aluminum wrap?
Reynolds. How come every British people are like they're eating Reynolds? Because you have Michael Caine. I found you.
And like Gary Oldman when he was playing like Winston Churchill. Oh yes.
Master Bruce. Master Bruce.